Flippin' Steve here. It is Saturday morning, about to head to the Chantilly show. It's almost 9 a.m. I expected to almost be there by then. I got a 2-hour ride ahead of me, but about to head out. Just running a little bit late, taking my time a little bit. Something that I thought I was going to have to do later this afternoon and no longer have to do. So got a little bit of extra sleep, and we'll be heading to the show and maybe spending a little extra time there than I originally intended. Not taking my Pelican case with me. In fact, I'm only taking 4 cards, and they're all Marvel cards, because I know some Marvel dealers that'll be at this show. I'm going to see if I can get some movement on those, even if it's trade. And going to also look for the Hall of Fame autos, look into some vintage. Probably going to go to the way of mostly autograph cards, if that's what I can find. If I do find good deals, I'll never turn down a good deal. So, you know, always depending on price point on what I buy. I may buy something I'm not targeting, just based around price point. But again, going to look for cards that ultimately have an end game of a collector, of finding a home, and not something that's just going to, you know, flip through the cycle and pass from hand to hand to hand, you know, hot potato style. Cards that I can get for a deal at a show, move to someone else because of the perceived value to them is just more than it is to others, because it's something that they personally want. So that's the items that I'm targeting. That's the way that I'm playing the game right now, guys. So I'll keep you informed on what I'm doing. Yeah, stopping in the Royal Farm to get myself a Red Bull. These things are absolutely terrible for you, but I'm almost feel like I'm addicted to them. I actually like them better for the taste than I do for the energy that they're supposed to give you. Did you also know that Red Bull has its own clothing company, and their clothes is expensive? I didn't even know this, but I guess they make the stuff like over in Italy, and it's like super expensive. Red Bull clothing, who would think? You get a Red Bull t-shirt here from like a distributor or something like for free, but a Red Bull like t-shirt or designer shirt, crazy prices.
I don't have space. I can't fit this needle.
Just had the 2-hour ride, not drive, as my wife drove me today. First show she's been with me since Tampa, but that doesn't really count because she didn't really hang out at the show. She went to the flea market. So first show where she's actually going to walk around and see what goes on inside of one of these shows. You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking for the Hall of Fame autos. Just looking for good deals, good price points. We'll see what I come away with. I'll keep you guys informed. And yeah, it's crowded already. It's 11 a.m. This parking lot behind me is packed. Actually, I had to steal some Walmart parking here. Lots of planes going overhead. Dulles Airport nearby. About to enter. I believe it's $10 a person. I don't have any dealer badges or anything this time, so just going to go ahead in, pay the fee for my wife and myself. As you can see the parking lot here. No lack of interest in the shows. We'll see the crowd inside. Guys, decent crowd here at the show. Just got my first real pickup. I had a small pickup earlier, but just got my first real pickup. Willie Mays on-card auto. I'll show this in the camera later. One of the crispiest Willie Mays autos that I've seen. You guys will see what I'm talking about when I show this up closer. My first big pickup of the show. More to come. Leaving the show here in Chantilly. I'll hang out a little longer, 4 hours. My wife was a trooper. She stuck it out with me. Now we're going to head over to the Air and Space Museum. We're gonna have some food. I picked up 7 cards and another item for the personal collection. Probably my favorite pickup of the day, which you guys will see when I wrap up the video at the end. I'll show you all my pickups. Traffic in there was not too bad. Not nearly as crowded as the last show, especially for a Saturday. Ran into some friends, some other YouTube content creators, a couple viewers, had a couple conversations. I'll wrap up the entire show, everything that was going on inside, when I get home, and take some footage of this Air and Space Museum to add to the video. Inside the Air and Space Museum, all these planes over here. More planes on this side. And we're about to walk to the bottom of the hangar so we can actually get closer to the planes that are down there on the ground. Just got done watching the second Top Gun movie, so how fitting to see the F-14 in here with the cool graphics. It's also on the tail. which reminds me of the Sky Striker when I used to have G.I. Joe and toys. This thing's just cool. This plane is actually left over from the attack in Pearl Harbor. Another throwback helicopters. This is a medvac chopper from the Korean conflict, Korean War. And this, you know, you would notice from the TV show MASH, if you're a fan or ever watched that. My grandfather watched that show all the time. So as soon as I knew this or saw this helicopter, I knew exactly what it was. Coming into the back of the museum, this is probably the most popular attraction that they have here. I believe this is Space Shuttle Discovery. I'm gonna find out for sure. But the entire space shuttle is in here. I'm gonna walk around it and take a look. And this thing is just massive, massively giant. I'm not gonna even be able to fit it on my camera. And it's not gonna do it any justice on how big this thing actually is. Just finished up at the Air and Space Museum. Spent about 35-40 minutes in there. Definitely worth the trip if you're ever in the Chantilly area and you're at the card show and you just want to get out of the show, do something a little different. It's literally only minutes away. Lots to see, cool stuff to see, cool inside, and it's free. All you gotta do is pay for the parking, so I would definitely recommend it. Especially while the space shuttle is in there. Who knows how long that thing will be in there on display. But I had never seen one up close like that before, and it was just crazy. Next up is food, home, recap the show, show you my pickups. Let's get it done. Brussels, mule, the burger, sweet potato fries. Are you happy that I'm home? Finally home from the card show. You wanted to get to go, but you couldn't. Back to wrap it up. Back to talk about the show and to show you guys some cards, what I picked up, what I bought. Let's just dive right into it and make it quick. First of all, last Chantilly show was jam-packed. Lots of people. It was almost had a Dallas vibe to it. This Chantilly show, at least for this Saturday, and just this Saturday afternoon, I can't speak for the whole thing, not much of a crowd. Very surprising that the crowd was as thin as it was. It was great. It made good room to work and walk around without bumping into people. I, like I said, did not take my case. So it was easier for me anyway, but just not much of a crowd. It was very comfortable within the building. It was very cool within the building. In fact, when I went outside, it felt nice because it was a little too cool in the building. But nonetheless, crowd just seemed a little thin. Can't really explain why that is. Maybe people are building up to the National with lots and lots and lots of more shows popping up all over. We just had Chicago, Indiana, and Raleigh in the same weekend of last weekend. Maybe people were taking a show off. Maybe it's a little bit of overkill. Maybe people have a little bit of burnout. I don't know. Chantilly was a great show last time. It was still a good show this time. However, first and foremost, the crowd was noticeably smaller. Could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. For the hobby in general, you'd like to see your shows packed out because of interest. And I will tell you, the parking lot was packed, but inside, very free, very easy to move around. Now, lots of the cards that I saw in there, it was a very diverse show. Okay, so vintage was very well represented. Lots of good vintage all over the place, which made me realize one thing as someone who's looking to get into vintage, that vintage is not necessarily rare. It's easy to find. Now, when you're talking about high-grade vintage, that's a different story. Really tough to find. But when you're looking at low-grade vintage and you want to build a collection, it's really not super hard to find. Lots of dealers, lots of tables have a lot of the same players in the same grades because it's typically your same 15 or so players that really get traded oftenly in the vintage market. I'm still very heavily on the Hall of Fame autographs, looking for stuff that's more rare, something that has something special to it, like a dual signature, things like that. You guys know that's what I've been aiming for in this show. Was very good for that. I was able to land some cards that I've been looking for, not necessarily specifically looking for, but in the ballpark of the items that I am aiming to get. Can't wait to show them to you guys, as well as an awesome PC piece that just popped up out of nowhere. But there was a lot of Hall of Fame autos, all sports, lots of tables. Not much of that stuff in Raleigh last week. Don't know about the other shows, but a pleasant surprise, or not necessarily surprise, but something that was pleasant to me was that there was lots of that stuff to choose from. I picked up a couple cards of the same player, got some good deals, got some good prices. Now I will talk about pricing. Some dealers are still overpriced. Some dealers still don't want to sell on today's market because they're underwater. Some of them don't want to cut ties. Rather, they believe that the market is going to bounce back as strong as it was. Not necessarily something that I think, but maybe they believe that. Or maybe they just don't care about selling a card and taking a loss. Maybe they just would rather just keep the card, and maybe their pocket's not hurting to the point to where they have to sell to recoup some of their funds. You know, it could be different for each individual dealer, so I can't speak as a whole, but a lot of discrepancies between dealers. Some dealers were really well priced, really fair priced, up to date, and some were non up to date and refused to come down. Case in point, there was one card that I wanted to buy. Now, it was a speculative card. It's a young quarterback that nobody's really talking about, but it was just a speculative card. I only wanted to buy it due to price point. It was priced at $100. I looked up most recent comps, and the most recent eBay comp for this card, the exact card, was $72. I offered the dealer $75. He said he couldn't take any less than $90. I said, would you take $80? He says, I can't sell it for $80 because I bought it for more than $80. So there you have it. I was offering him more than comps. And mind you, there would be no eBay fees. There would be no PayPal fees. But they could have had a clean transaction with me for cash, free of fees, no fees, right up front, done. But they chose to keep the card, and I'm pretty sure that they'll probably be stuck with that card for a while unless this young player really takes off. And maybe that's why they decided to make the decision, because it might be a card that they still think has potential, which is fair enough. It wasn't an argument. It was just I wasn't going to pay above comps for a card that was super speculative, and he wasn't willing to sell because he was into the card for more than what it's comping at. So who am I to say what he should be selling his cards at? The other thing is that I bought a card for $400, and I found a card almost identical to it. Now, it wasn't identical, but it was very similar. Same company, no serial number, on-card auto, same player, right around the same year. And I found another dealer selling the exact same or almost the exact same card for $1,500. Now, they weren't exactly the same card, but there's no way his card was worth $1,500 and the one that I bought was $400. So either I got mine at a really good deal, or he was really overpriced, or it was a combination of both. I'd like to think it was a combination of both. I feel like I got a good deal on my card. However, nowhere near $1,500 for the card that I got. So again, pricing was here and here, and you had to try to find the middle ground in between. I luckily found some good tables, walked around, and like I said, my wife went with me. It was cool. She was patient. She was into the cards a little bit, so that was fun. And that's pretty much it for the Chantilly show. Again, the takeaways are the crowd was lower. It was very diverse. There was a little bit of everything there. There was modern, lots of vintage. But vintage, didn't rule the show, but there was a strong showing for vintage. Hall of Fame autos. One thing that I will say is that there were a couple tables with non-sports cards. However, the buzz for non-sports cards seemed high. I heard at least 5, and that's a safe number. I heard at least 5 people walk up to tables when I was up to tables and actually ask the dealers, do you have any non-sports cards? Or somebody would walk up and a dealer would be like, is there anything you're looking for? And they would be like, I'm looking for some non-sports cards. And these were all 5 different people. Now, 5 may not seem like a big number, but I've never really been walking around shows and heard people specifically asking for non-sports cards. Now, I cannot say what these non-sports cards were. I don't know if they're looking into music cards. I don't know if it's Star Wars. I don't know if it's Marvel. I don't know if it's pop culture stuff. I really don't know what it was. I didn't ask. It was just the loose term of, do you have any non-sports cards? There was a couple items and a couple tables with some of the stuff. I picked up one item from my PC that I'm going to show you guys, and we're going to go ahead and get into that with my pickups. Again, that's the takeaway. So all my pickups from today's show in Chantilly, not really sure what my future plans are for these. The first piece I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and get it right out of the way because I just want to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys first, and I want to put it in the background. Is I found this Al Pacino Scarface autographed photo already in a PSA, DNA, Gem Mint 10 auto, authenticated, clean autograph, awesome picture, historical character, historical role in the Scarface movie. I am a little bit more of a Godfather person, but I do love the Scarface and the Tony Montana character as well. Al Pacino, one of my favorites. Going to my PC. This isn't one of those big PSA slabs like you see some of my music stickers in. Pick that up, guys. $300. The guy said $300, and I bought it. And there was a guy behind me that was like, "Are you going to buy that?" And I was like, "Yes." And he was like, "Dang," because I was going to buy it too. So I'm glad it was just being at the right place at the right time. I beat another buyer to this item, and I just thought it was awesome. My first pickup of the day right here, and I'm probably going to go right in order, was this Ozzie Newsome on-card auto, immaculate, numbered out of 99. This is not for myself. In fact, this is for a viewer of the channel who won a break that I did a long time ago when he had the Browns, and there wasn't really anything worth sending him in the break, and he lived in Canada, so it was a lot of shipping. And I was like, wait till I get a nice Browns card to send you. And it's been tough to really find, Browns cards that aren't super expensive because you got Baker Mayfield and Nick Chubb who are kind of on the pricey side. And then there's no other Browns that are really worth buying. And I found this at the show, picked it up for a decent enough price to give away for free. So you know who you are. Contact me on Instagram. I need your info so I can send this to you. And go ahead and settle up on the card that I said I was going to give you. Here it is. And if you don't claim it in a couple weeks, maybe there's another Browns fan that watches the channel that would like it. My second pickup of the day, just another Frank Robinson. I already have this card graded. I picked up another Frank Thomas auto in Raleigh for $40. I picked up this SP signature today, $19.99, for $40 as well. See a $60 price tag. Got it for $40. I now have two of these. One of these is graded in a BGS 9 with a 10 auto. Now I have another. Anytime I find an on-card Frank Robinson, do I keep saying Frank Thomas? But Frank Robinson auto, anytime I find one for under $50, I just buy it. It's just the way it's going to be. I'm an Orioles fan, so what can it hurt? Next up, we have an Ernie Banks autograph, one of my grandfather's favorites. I do have the Cal Ripken Jr. Ernie Banks dual auto. The only reason I picked this one up also is because it is scribed with Mr. Cub. Now you don't see a lot of his autos scribed with Mr. Cub. He does have quite a few autos out there in a lot of the sets. He has also passed away, I believe, in 2015. 500 home run club, all-time favorite out there in Chicago. The Cubbies love Mr. Cub, and the Cubby fans, big market. His cards are always popular. Probably find a fan at the National to trade this to or something. Again, I do have an Ernie Banks auto, but I had to pick that one up because of the inscription. Makes it a little bit more special. Like I said, I'm looking for a little bit of specialty to the cards. Here we go with my second. This is my second Willie Mays auto. I was going to say first, but I forgot I had picked one up at a Philly show a while back and stashed it away. This is a Topps Legends autograph. However, this is one of the, like I said in my video earlier, cleanest, crispiest, whatever you want to say, Willie Mays autos out there. There's no streaks. There's no misses in his signature where, he missed a letter or anything like that. It's not shaky as if he was trembling when he signed it, as older players tend to do. Just a super crispy clean auto on this. So I picked this one up, got a really good price on it. I mean, I almost think I paid too little for this, but that's never a bad thing. I'll add Willie Mays autos to my collection every day. One more. Ooh, that's a tongue twister. One more Willie Mays to add. Say that 5 times fast. I challenge you. Type it 5 times fast in the comments. This is, I believe, a Don Russ product. It says leather and lumber, Don Russ. Yes. Got the signature. Got a piece of pants swatch. And it says game used right here. Game worn, personally worn in a game by Willie Mays. Numbered out of 15. Just one of the cards you don't see every day. You know, I always like to buy stuff that you don't see every day. Another Willie Mays. So these were already posted on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, head over there and you would have seen that I had already posted these two Willie Mays autos this afternoon. The last two cards I got came from the same dealer. And man, like I said, I got some deals. Some people were really highly priced and some people just had the deals on wheels, like for days. And I picked up these two cards and almost bought a couple more cards off the same seller, but backed off a little bit. And again, this one, the Bill Belichick. So this is the 1991 Pro Line Bill Belichick. I believe it is his rookie card. Super young. Look at him. I guess you could say he's the GOAT as well when it comes to coaching. But this is the signature. So there's the Bill Belichick autograph on the back. As you can see, he prints his autograph. And you can see where it's been stamped. These old Pro Line, it was almost as if they certified him with like a notary. You can see it right here. The stamp, certificate of authenticity. These were pack pulled. So this is a pack pulled auto of Bill Belichick. And this, I got half price of the last eBay comp. So you know what, if you know what the last eBay comp was, then you know what I paid for this. But I got this for half of the last eBay comp. I would have never bought it if it wasn't for price point, but I'll buy a Bill Belichick auto every day if I'm going to get it half of comps. So pick that up. And last but not least, this card here. Old school 1996 classic Pro Line, hand numbered out of 250. However, I've never seen this card, and I'm going to say you're going to be hell-bent on trying to find 250 of them out there. This is Troy Eggman and Emmitt Smith dual gold auto. It is slabbed, but it's only slabbed authentic. What can you say? Troy Eggman and Emmitt Smith. They won Super Bowls together. This is 1996. This is when they were both still pretty much in their prime. They had just won the Super Bowl in 1995, right? They won the Super Bowl for the 95 season in 96. Tune in tomorrow night for the national giveaway announcement. Yes, Monday night. This video should go up Sunday morning. Tune in Monday night. The announcement is being made. I'm nervous. I know there's people out there that are nervous. I'm excited. I know you guys are excited. And we're going to get this thing done and we're going to get our plans made. Check out my little friend. Say hello to my little friend back there. And you guys, take it easy. I'll see you next time.